Welcome to Take It from the Ironwoman. My name is Susanne Mueller, your host and the Ironwoman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Ironwoman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Ironwoman. We only have special guests. Today, we're going to Nairobi, Kenya. Please introduce yourself. Where are you and what do you do?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Neema Nkatha Kinoti. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a swimwear company. Essentially, we design, sell, and produce African-inspired swimwear. I started this basically initially out of a personal need. But as we progressed, I noted that the World Health Organization had put out a note that Africans have the highest drowning deaths in the world, that essentially, which is about 15 to 20 times higher than that in developed countries, yet swimming is an essential skill. This has actually been my vision to champion for African swimming and to change that narrative that Africans don't or can't swim, because it's not true. And it's become an upcoming sport. It's actually compulsory in our public and private schools in Kenya. In the education system, swimming is part of the curriculum. It is encouraged, and I want to just change the narrative, and that's my vision.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Neema. This is fantastic. And we all know when people are drowning or they can't swim, this is horrendous. And I love swimming. So we want to make sure that the world knows, because on your website, it says we often hear the statement, Africans don't swim, a statement that is unfortunately true. The World Health Organization notes that drowning deaths are highest in Africa, 15 to 20 times higher than in developed countries. In a way, you produce the swimwear, but you also have that message. Have you seen an increase in people swimming?
Yes.
Because your stuff looks beautiful.
It's actually called Ohana Swimwear, and that's our flagship product. Our mission is to make sure Africans from all walks of life have access to stylish swimwear that makes them feel confident to step into the water. I feel like we're doing the step one. And step two is to also give them access to knowledge that enables them to have those survival skills when it comes to the water. Because at the end of the day, swimming is an essential skill. I have seen an increase. Initially, when I started, my brand was mostly viewed as more of a lifestyle, because lifestyle brand, as people really loved the designs, but some couldn't swim, but they'd wear it at the beach because it's really colorful and vibrant and still gives that, makes you feel confident as well.
It looks sexy.
So
yeah.
I'm allowed to say that on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes, it makes you feel sexy and it's very authentic and it celebrates our culture and heritage. A lot of people were excited, and even those people who couldn't swim, they could still wear it at the beach and just flaunt their curves and whatever. But now I've seen an increase where it's just not about the fashion aspect of it, but it's also very functional. People have been swimming in it. We're creating more functional yet stylish swimwear, whereby people can now actively use it and train with them, and even just for recreational weekends when you go to swim.
How did it all start? You come from an entrepreneurial family. Why swimwear?
Yes. It actually came out of a personal need. I was about to finish uni. I was literally in my final semester. And after uni, we were going to do a trip to Europe, a few countries in Europe, and during summer. That's when I started looking for swimwear. Essentially, we had everything from clothing, backpacks, sandals, African prints, but there was no swimwear anywhere in East Africa. I started doing my research. Why don't we have something authentic? I wanted to go represent in a different continent and stand out and just have fun. Honestly, most of the brands here are the global brands. I've grown up with Speedo and Nike and Arena, and they don't really complement our body types, the African body types, nor our skin tones. So it wasn't really going to be sexy for a summer vacation. And that's where the idea came from. And I was just like, why not come up with my own African print swimwear? It can be either a hit or a miss. I just convinced myself I have nothing to lose. I'm just graduating. If it doesn't work out, I'll literally go into the corporate world. I did finance. That's my background. So I'll look for a job. But what if it actually works out better than expected? So here we are.
Fantastic, and congratulations. And out of a need,
Thank
that's
you.
what they always say when you listen to Shark Tank. They always
Yeah.
say it comes out of a need. You needed to have swimwear or sexy outfits to wear.
It's the premier swimwear brand, African prints in East Africa. We're technically the first of our kind around here. So that's why I did really well. Everyone was just shocked because they didn't know also we could use the prints in swimwear fabric because they used to think it's a cloth or like the Maasai.
How much research was needed for you? You don't have a fashion background. How did that work? You just one day like, okay, I need a bathing suit.
Essentially, YouTube was my best friend and Google because I did not know anything. I had to research from factories to how to combine the prints and the colors and different countries. I had to see what different countries offer. I came upon those huge brands, global brands, especially from the US, that can allow you to custom make your own outfits and swimsuits and stuff like that. But it's really costly. Then I saw other companies that do printed. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but they did printed swimsuits. When I talked to my parents, because I didn't also have money, I didn't have any capital to start with. I was just in school. When I talked to my parents, I decided we agreed why not start as a franchise per se, whereby I'm just reselling what is already out there just to test the market and do my due diligence. That's exactly what I did. I remember writing an email to a particular company and I just bought a few swimsuits from them, just one design, one color, different sizes, just to test it out. The reception was amazing. With that money that I got, that I earned from just reselling, I was able now to come up with my own designs and contract different factories and just test the waters.
Sounds like such an easy journey. How long did that take you?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so trial and error. Okay, we're still, trial and error never ends, regardless. But essentially, the whole of 2018 for a year, because I registered as a company in 2019. So I started actually end of 2017 from around August. It's basically 1.5 years essentially of just trial and error, researching. By the time I came up with my first design was 2019 April. That's almost 2 years.
Then the pandemic hit. How did you survive the pandemic? I'm curious. People start a business and then poof.
That's one thing no one foresaw. Oh my goodness. When the pandemic, we were actually on a trajectory. We were like up, going higher and higher. And then the pandemic hit. And I remember just, first of all, we had the international borders closed and then the national borders. And then because we also, one of my distribution channels was through hotels. They would stock and sell my swimsuits. But now all hotels are closed. No one is traveling. Even people who have pools in their houses, no one is swimming. That was quite a challenge for me. However, I saw it as a new opportunity because now that's when we maximize now on the online engagement. And now we started creating like fun reels and TikToks and we built the online engagement. And then fortunately for me and unfortunately for some people, now the civil war happened in the US where there was the whole movement on Black Lives Matter and they started supporting Black-owned businesses. Lupita Nyong'o posted wearing my bikini and she said, support Black-owned business. She tagged Ohana Swimwear literally on the picture and on the mentions and everything. So that brought a lot of traffic. I remember that day we had about 80,000 people on our website and we just sold out that day. It was insane. We got a lot of back orders and that's what essentially opened me up to now the global, especially the US market. That actually helped me survive. Shout out to Lupita. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lupita. She's a wonderful person.
She's so sweet.
Have you met her?
No, that's my dream of life. I'd love to meet her. I've never met her, but I would love to meet her and just thank her in person because she has no idea what she did. I tried to DM her. I tried to email her. I tried anyone from her team because I looked through the website. I was like, when did Lupita order a swimsuit? I was trying to see, wait, when did she ever? And obviously they don't directly order. They use their people. I hope to one day meet her and thank her in person. But I did extend an invite to her for the New York Fashion Week. I'm hoping her team, they pick it up, or I'm hoping it just reaches her one way or another.
Tell us about the New York Fashion Week.
They reached out to me last year. They essentially just through Instagram, and then we had the discussion now after February around March, whereby they wanted me to showcase to be part of the emerging designers for their summer edition, which is happening in September. Essentially, there are 2 seasons for Fashion Week. It's either in around February, which is the winter season. Then we have the September, which is the summer season. Swimsuits, they usually do just 4 categories, and I asked them even how they found me, and they told me normally what they do, they have a team that scouts out what's out there right now, what are people talking about, what's new, what's fresh. And that's how they stumbled upon Ohana. And they liked just the story behind it, what it represents. And they just wanted to bring also they wanted to give me a platform to showcase just our African heritage. It's supposed to be September 7th to 9th.
What does it take for you to be in New York on September 7th?
Okay, so essentially the basics are obviously the visa process, which is quite tedious, especially here in Nairobi. We have a new ambassador, the American ambassador. However, and the timelines is usually, for now, my interview has been set for March 2024. Can you believe it? It's very hard for Kenyans to go to the US. It's a very tedious process, and it's not even a guarantee that they will give you the visa after the interview. Right now, the team from New York Fashion Week, they're trying to push with the consular to change the date so that I'm able to attend and even showcase. So apart from the visa process, basically there are different packages that they offer. I was telling you earlier about the process is essentially a Super Bowl where they give you the platform, the amazing platform to showcase and the opportunities. However, you have to sponsor yourself, or you have to reach out to brands and investors would like to be part of your journey and sponsor the process. There are different packages. For me, I've been offered the premium package, which is essentially I'm showcasing 10 designs, 10 different looks. Everything else is catered for in terms of the models. I'll go and cast them myself, whoever I want. I'm given liberty to choose when it comes to the video editing and all that stuff, what I want to showcase, the music, the lighting, everything is catered for. I just have to put in my creative input. You're given 100% you are 100% creative director for your own show. And so that costs for the premium package, that is essentially about 10,000 USD. And then now comes the accommodation as their recommended hotels that the franchise offers. They have partnerships with hotels which are also close by to the location, and they give you also discounts. Then now there's also the flight. Kenya to New York is about a 15-hour flight. It's about essentially 2,000 USD. I would need about 20,000 USD just to be comfortable, in the sense of I'm able to showcase, I'm able to also follow up with like retailers and great contacts, business people. I need to be there for about at least 10 days because I have to be there earlier before the show so that we can set up everything. I can do the casting, we can do the behind the scenes, I can meet the models, the fittings, everything that needs to be done. Then right after the show, they also give you the red carpets. They introduce you to part of the people who are in the audience are now influencers and, the retailers and great business contacts that they allow you to follow up with. Essentially, it'll be about 20,000 USD just for those 10 days.
Well, it's an investment.
Yes, it is.
Lupita got your swimsuit, and probably that got you to where you can be. And it's about being there, mingling with the others.
New York is one of Fashion Week, for example. At the Fashion Weeks are one of the most watched fashion events in history. They have viewership of over 10 million. That's literally taking basically a breakthrough for your business if you can get. And The hall itself allows about, how many is it? About 500 people. That's inclusive of now the VIPs who are now categorized under press, influencers and celebrities. Then you can have your people and everything. Also, they push it from their end as well. They get to market and advertise for you. As we speak right now, I have some stores which have reached out to me. Right now, they're interested in stocking my swimwear and they want to see when I'm there, they want to see and see how can we push this partnership forward and actually bring you to the US market. And the good thing about my brand is we have the approval from now the Kenya Export Promotion and Branding Agency, where they've given us this status, the Made in Kenya status. We're being supported from this end. It's just a matter of now pushing it. Basically an investment. Whoever comes on board as an investor, the ROI, the return on investment is much higher because you never know, like US is a huge market. And remember I told you, we got 80,000 people in one day just from Lupita. Now imagine, you never know who might be watching and what might happen.
We're excited to have you in New York. Thank you so much for giving us a glimpse into your life.
Thank you for having me.
What a cool conversation. What are you taking away from this swimwear from Africa? Take it from the Ironwoman. We have episodes every Monday. Chime in, listen to great stories, learn from the guests and with the guests. And also download the book, Take It from the Ironwoman, Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. Download it or get it in your local bookstore.